Hello everyone! So today we have something super cool. Basically it's how to create a hole in your design, which is super nice, and you won't believe how easy it is to make. Alright, so let's see. So first of all, okay, this is the editor, as you can see. So what do I have here? So let's recreate it from scratch. I'll create a new section above. I want it to fill the entire of my screen height. So I'll select the section and change its height to be basically 100 VH, but because I have this banner on top, I will remove it from the total height, which is 50 pixels. So let's go to calculation and change it from 100 VH to 100 minus 50 pixels. But wait, but the best practice is not to do it on the height, but to keep it auto and set it to the minimum height. So if you have from any reason content that is bigger than this your screen height, the section will grow and not cut your content. All right, second thing, let's remove the background color. We don't need it, and the background color should came from my page, which is this one. So let's change it to black. This is not black, this is black. This does not look so good, but I don't care because it's not related to the tutorial. All right, so we have a section and we have we set its height, minimum height actually. The second thing that we need to do is to add our design. So instead of doing it all over again, so I'll just copy it, and it's actually in the middle of this section, but with negative margin of 5%. This is just for the example. So it's actually at the center, but minus 5%. The last thing is this text, which is only for me to remember what to talk about in this tutorial. So I'll just paste it all also right here, and let's set a margin from bottom. It aligned to its dock to the bottom, and let's set, I don't know, 80 pixels. How much did I put here? 60. So let's do it exactly the same. 60 pixel. This is 100 percentage, and actually the responsive is not, it's not related to this tutorial. It's not important, so let's keep it that way. And let's just quickly publish the website to see how it looks on the live site. Sometimes it takes. By the way, I think that if you change the settings, the caching settings to be never, the publish will be much faster, the live changes. And also, but it's dangerous because you need to remember once you go live to change it to maximum time. All right, so we have exactly the same section. It looks good, but we don't have this hole in our design, just like this. And we're missing the background image. This is actually an image. You can put basically everything you want there. So it can be a video, it can be a different container with different design, it doesn't matter. So let's add an image. Now it won't be related to the topic, which is adventure. It's just to the example. So let's select something from Wix maybe. It's not important, but I want it to look nice. Let's find something interesting, maybe this waterfall. All right, let's go with it. Okay, we're talking about a road trip. Maybe it can be related. Okay, so it looks like this. This is not what we need right now. Basically, what we need everything to be black or blocked with solid color, and we want a shape that you can see through. Okay, just like this. So for that, I need a container. So let's add another container. Now let's give a naming so we know exactly what we are doing. So this one is the bottom text. This one is the heading. Let's say it's not descriptive enough, but never mind. And this is the background image. Okay, so we need a container and it needs to be child of the section. Okay, this is the hero section. This is the example section, so we won't get confused. All right, so inside this hero section I want to drop a container, and this one I want to make it square, and it should be square also when it's responsive. So let's set it to be 20 viewport width, and to make it square and responsive, the height will be also 20 viewport width. I always check that I don't have minimum height on the row, so let's change it to FR, and now let's keep it this way. I'll give it like a strong color. Okay, and now the magic is start. So we need to go to the CSS, okay, and we need to create a new class that I called it whole. Okay, and it looks like this. So basically, let's demonstrate in the editor, and then we will understand why we need a custom CSS. So I will add shadow to this container, but first of all I want it to be circle, right? Circle. So let's change the corners to be as much as I can. Okay, something like this. And then in the apply shadow, I want it to be, the size should be very, very high. Okay, and it should be without any transparency. Okay, so it looks something like this. I don't need the blur. Okay, and I need to get rid of the background color. Okay, so now I have kind of a hole, but this shadow, it's not enough. Okay, I cannot make a bigger value here. So this is the only reason that we need CSS. Okay, so let's see. Instead of using this apply shadow of the editor, let's remove it. For now, I'll bring back the background color with some opacity, so we will see through. And what do I do here? So basically, this class is applying box shadow on my own with my own settings. Okay, so you can see right here that the box shadow is super big. It's 200 of the viewport width, like twice. Okay, this is to make sure that the amount of shadow that I will have, it will be super big. Why I don't do 100 is basically because 100 is from the center to here, but at this corner, the distance is bigger than left and right. So this is why I did more. Okay, and it's black, it's solid black with no transparency. And also here you can see that I can set the border radius only for 999 pixels, and I want it to be I want it to be always square, no matter what the big circle, no matter what what is my screen width. So I override it here. This one I will comment out right now, and the things that I left to do is to add this whole CSS class to my container. So again, this is, let's call it whole, and let's mention that it have CSS. This is important for us to understand. So let's add whole, and look what's happened. So immediately I can see that I have huge black area, and then I see something in the middle, like behind this shape. So if I'll remove the background color and I'll change the box shadow from 200 to 90 VW, so now you can see, you should see, this is weird. Let's make it, oh, it makes sense because it's 90 from the center to the left. So let's make it 40. Maybe it doesn't get it. Okay, yeah. So let's make it 10 just for us to see. So you can see it's circle, but as I increase my value, so it's getting bigger. Okay, so 20, it's halfway. So we need to have something like, if this is 20, so we need at least 80, but let's do 100. So now it's cover everything, right? So let's publish the website to see how it looks on the live site. So we see a hole, but you can see that I have here a button that I cannot click. Okay, so we have a trick for that. In CSS, we can tell an element to that it doesn't select. You cannot select it or something. I don't remember the term, but basically you tell the mouse to ignore this element. So the way to do it is, we have pointer event, you can set it to none, and then you can see that I can interact with the element behind it. Okay, there is a lot of properties here, but we need to the none. Okay, the second thing, I will add this CSS class, this CSS property in a second. The second thing that we need to do is make this circle to move with us, right? So first of all, and here a heads up, as I set the pointer events to none, you cannot select it in the editor. As you can see, I selecting the stack behind it. The way you can select it is by the layers panel. Okay, this way. Just for you to remember. So now what do we need to do? We need to go to the interaction, as everyone knows. Go to the mouse effect, and I'll select track, and then I'll change the distance to be responsive. And now you should know that this is not super precise, okay? Because we don't, basically what we should do, we should tell him follow the mouse by the mouse position, but we don't have it right now, so we'll do something very close. So let's do something like, I don't know, a 50 VW, and let's remove the remove or make it like small, the velocity, and it should move both on the X and the Y axis. Okay, and I love this easing, so let's keep this easing. And you can see immediately in the editor, we don't even need to publish the website, that it's working very nice. But we always need to check the live site. So let's refresh it. And voila, we have it. So now the user can explore and search for something, the image, and get a very nice experience. You can see that when I'm go to the edge, I see the center of my cursor, right? So as I move it to the left and right, it's kind of precise, but if I goes to the edge, it's gonna run away from me, right? So currently there is no no code solution to make it super precise, but I think this is like good enough and give the right experience. So this is how to create this hole. Of course, if you don't want to see it on mobile, simply hide it. Okay, that's it. Okay, but this is not it. This is a concept. Okay, with this concept you can do crazy stuff, really crazy stuff. You just need to be a bit creative and you can create amazing things. So let's see another examples that we have. So I can let's see the content. I should oh wait, where is the text? Oh, it's right there. Oh, by the way, you can here you can see that I'm revealing the text also, right? But here it's behind the text. So the way to do it is simply change the order. Okay, instead of to be on top of the bottom text and the heading, I can make it only on top of the image, and then it's let's show it in the editor. And then you can see it's behind the element, but I wanted to show you how can I interact with the elements that is behind it. Okay, like this. So we talked about the circle, and now let's talk about rectangle. So this is super cool. So instead to make it circle, what I can do is to change its height to be 100 VH. But we are I need to remove this 50 pixels, so let's remove it. Instead of height, I'll set it to be minimum height of 100 VH minus 50 pixels, and remove the height, and make sure that I don't have row height. Cool. But look, I'm stuck with the border radius. So let's go to the CSS and comment this out, or make it 0 just for now, and it still have corners. Basically it's because of this. So if you are using CSS, don't do it twice, also from the inspector panel. All right, so it looks like this. Now we need to change the mouse effect a bit. So instead of it to move on both axes, I'll change it to be only on the horizontal. And now we will get a different experience. So let's see it. Oh, why do I miss? Only horizontal, yeah. Oh, it's not published. So now you can see no matter where is my mouse, it's only moving on the x-axis. And now this is a totally different experience. I think this is super cool. All right, so this was the rectangle. Now let's talk about inner shadow. Imagine that you want to have some depth. Maybe it's more related to the circle, but let's do it anyway. So the issue is that we already used drop shadow to this container, and we cannot have both. We can have it twice. So the easiest solution, and this is why I used container, basically I can use different elements to create same behavior, is the solution is to add another container to that whole container and stretch it. All right, again I will remove the background color, and let's change its name to inner shadow container, and it's also will be applied using CSS. Why? Because we do not have inner shadow. We cannot set inner shadow using the native options. All right, so again, we will go to the CSS, and I have a class called inner shadow, and look, it's nested inside the whole class because the whole is the parent and this is its children. So what do we need to do is basically, let's comment this out. We are setting box shadow, but we use the inset property, okay? And this way, actually, sometimes it's difficult to see it in the live, in the editor, so I'm going to the live site. But first of all, we need to add this class to this inner shadow container. So I already used it, so it exists right here. And look, now we have inner shadow. So let's change it to be, for example, red. So now you will see it very clearly. You see, this is the inner shadow. So you can play around with it to get the desired effect that you need. And now, if I'll publish the site, you should see it. It should looks like we have some depth inside this container. Okay, it's more noticeable in a circle. Okay, so now you can see that we have inner shadow. All right, so we talked about inner shadow. Now we need to talk about filter, and I won't do it on the editor. I'll just give you an example on the live site. So again, here now I cannot select it because it has the pointer event set to none, but I can find it from here. You see, this is the CSS, and I can do something like this. I can add another property called backdrop filter, because we want to affect the elements behind it. So backdrop filter, and let's go to do, for example, invert. Okay, so it invert the image, but actually it looks like the entire image is inverted, right? So the trick is we need to go to the drop shadow and change it. Instead of black, solid black, we can add some transparency. Okay, so look how beautiful it is. So now as I move, it's actually inverted the image, which is super cool. We can choose a lot of options. We have a lot of options to play with. For example, the Sophia is very noticeable. And also the grayscale. You can see it's make it grayscale. It's very, very nice. The inner shadow make it a bit ugly, so let's remove it. So now you can see more clearly what's happened. Okay, so this is another way to create to add another layer of effect to this animation. Super cool, right? The last thing that I want to talk about is loop animation, which is more related to the circle. So let's go back, and actually this is a great opportunity to show you how the inner shadow looks on the circle. So again, let's select the whole. The inner container is stretched, so anything that I do to the whole element will affect the inner one. So let's change it back to 20 VW, remove the other option, and again let's go and bring back the border radius to make it circle. And we also need to add border radius to the inner shadow container. So I have it right here. Actually, this one I won't show. Basically, you can add gradient that will give you another experience. Okay, so we have it. So we have the inner shadow, we have a border radius. So now I forgot what I wanted to talk about. So animations, yeah. So now I want to create another effect. Oh, first of all, I forgot I need to change the track animation to be both. And let's keep it that way. Okay, it looks like this. So now I want to do something, I want to combine another thing, which is I want to add a shape in the middle. I want to make it, let's say, 95% from the width and 95% of the height. Okay, and now let's change this shape to be, I'm searching for something round. Okay, maybe if I'll search for circle, yeah, like perfectly round. You know what, let's select this one. Okay, so it looks like this, and what I'm trying to do is to add some loop animation of spinning, and let's set the duration to it doesn't matter. I will publish it, and now because this is a container, so everything that is inside of it will move because of the track. But then we have another animation, which is the how it's called, I forgot. The spin, the rotate infinity loop, that it also following, it's rotating and following with my cursor, which is super cool. So you can actually create like an amazing experience, an amazing things with some creativity. You can take it like really, really far. So that's it. I hope you get inspired, and I hope that you will create insane stuff with it. So until next time, keep building amazing websites on Wix Studio.